Hello all, here's an in-depth look at the SUPCASE Unicorn Beetle Series case for the Samsung Galaxy S6 Active. To start with, this case retails for about $17 on Amazon and comes in three flavors: all black, all clear, or black and frost. This is the black and frost, and there's things that I like and dislike about it. The rear of the case is not a clear see-through plastic, but instead a frosted coating. The four circular screws, or the four circular sections covering the four screws, are clear plastic. I'm not sure if I like the frosted or not. It does hide the rugged texture of the back of the Samsung, and it tends to scratch easily in the light. I do feel it looks somewhat tacky, although a clear plastic might look far more tacky and cheap than this one does. In my case, it has a small pinhole on the back, and I haven't figured out what this is for yet. Maybe one of the microphones, who knows. But the opening around the camera and the flash provides enough clearance that you can still use the fingerprint heartbeat sensor. And one thing I disliked about the Galaxy S6 Active itself is how easily the buttons press and how it was always accidentally hitting them. This case solves that problem by making the buttons much more firm. So that's not to say that pressing the buttons are difficult per se, it's just harder pressing the buttons with the case than it was without the case. But I don't particularly care how hard the plastic is. I've used this old Trident case on my old phone for the past several years, so I'm used to a more rubberized feel. Not so with this case. The plastic is really hard, although the matted coating gives it a more premium feel. But it does make the case slide in and out of your pocket very smoothly. But I do worry if the hard plastic protects against drops, as well as my previous cushy-rubber case did. And moving on, the edge of the case has a really nice textured pattern. However, in my previous point, the hardness of the case does not provide much grip to it. So if you're not holding the phone just so or just properly, it might just slip right out of your hands. And also, I prefer if the volume keys had more texture. Sometimes it's hard to tell if I'm hitting volume up or volume down. And moving on, I also dislike that the ports are not covered. Again, comparing this to my previous case, the headphone jack opening fits all of my headphones, but it's just a bit too small for my car's cassette tape adapter. Yes, I'm old school. So I have to take the case off when I'm using it in the car. And that brings me to my next point. Removing the case is kind of difficult because you do have to use some force to pry it off. But after a few times, it's not too bad. Putting the case on, however, is a tight fit, so I always feel like I'm scratching the side of the phone by doing that. But no scratches so far. And then the lip of the case extends over the face of the phone by just a very slight amount, so maybe just a couple millimeters. So this means if you're using a screen protector, even one of those thick glass screen protectors like I'm using, the case does not interfere with it. So overall, in general, this case is a great accessory for the S6 Active, although there might be better options. It does provide adequate protection against drops, bumps, and scratches, while still maintaining a slim and sleek profile. I will be purchasing another alternative case to occasionally switch this one out with. But for the price, though, you can't go wrong with the SUPCASE Unicorn Beetle case for the Galaxy S6 Active.